What's good, wonderful people? I'm back again. I'm reacting to when a gang leader confronted Mike Tyson. I kind of know about this story, but not too much. But hey, let's react to it together, shall we?
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
Did you see his eye? His eye was just hanging out his head.
On today's video, we revisit the infamous two-fight saga between Mike Tyson and Mitch Blood Green. A genuine beef that 10 rounds of boxing couldn't squash, as the two would face off one more time on the street, this time in a much shorter affair with a decisive victory. Let's get right to it.
Rivals beyond the ring. Mike in the 80s, bro, was something else.
Quick TYSON 1986, the invincibility aura from Kid Dynamite took a slight knock as the two heavyweights battled out a much closer fight than the boxing fans and bookmakers expected.
How disappointed are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved, and I'm confident if I wanted to, I could have knocked them out.
It was Tyson's first time going the distance, as he had finished his previous 19 opponents all inside the opening 2 or 3 rounds. That gave some of the other heavyweight contenders.
Here's where Mike Tyson started like going. Then he got it to prison, and then we all know what happened after that.
Teenage dynamo early, halt the hype train, and earn the highest possible payday outside of a championship fight.
Tyson gonna give me a fight. I want Mike Tyson. Point blank. Michelle Tyson. He's a bro. I'm gonna knock him out.
Mitch Blood
They call him a hoe.
to utilize the new age of digital camcorders to get his message out there to boxing fans.
I'm gonna show you something. Feast your eyes on a real heavyweight.
There was no social media in those days, but local news stations and televised sports networks such as HBO would air the clips during a broadcast to gauge the fans' reaction.
I ain't no joke. My name is Blood Green, and you heard my fight. Watch my smoke.
It's probably due to audio compression over time, but I can honestly say I have difficulty understanding what Mitch Green is saying.
Me too, bro.
Two clear things with the muscle flexing and homophobic slurs, and bizarrely enough, as far as my research suggests, this was enough to land him a shot at the hottest prospect in world boxing. Growing up on the tough streets of Detroit, Mitch Green was a prominent player in 1970s New York gang warfare. At the age of 17, he had witnessed his father lose his life in a bizarre Western-style quick-draw shootout, not long before being shot twice himself.
Ooh, that made a lot of stuff in his brain go wrong.
Green tried to escape gang life by joining the UBA boxing gym in New York. But by this time, his ties to the street were too pronounced, as he was now hailed the king of New York street gangs by the NYPD for his role as gang leader.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard he was like in the streets too heavy, like he was involved, and he was like a leader in some sort of way. And at the same time, he was like a boxing, like he used to box pretty good. He was like boxing and stuff and competing. So
things slowly started to change for Mitch, as his reputation as a gang leader was exceeded by that of a talented amateur boxer, the muscular 6'5" big man that was racking up copious tournament success, including several New York Golden Gloves.
From the Bronx, New York, undefeated in 5 professional bouts with 1 draw.
Green took to the professional ring in 1980 and quickly started racking up wins over journeyman and fringe contenders such as Jumbo Cummings.
Eesh.
Champion in waiting Trevor Berbick became the first man to beat Green in 1985, where Mitch made a good account of himself,
the champion
by majority decision.
So
Both Tyson and Green were on the fringe of a world title shot, so regardless of the antics, the two were on a likely collision course. The trash talk from Green just helped build more interest in the fight, which in turn certainly struck a chord with Tyson, who openly admitted to hating that ugly mother effer.
Tyson enhanced me.
No socks. He says it makes him feel like a warrior. Makes him feel like a gladiator.
Tyson met Green for the first time.
It makes him feel like a warrior. Mike Tyson, traditionally, no robe, no socks. He says it makes him feel like a warrior. Makes him feel like a gladiator.
Tyson met Green for the first time in May.
Yeah, Mike Tyson entries, bro, like a gladiator. Ain't gonna lie.
Tyson's first match
Ain't gonna
in a
lie.
prestigious boxing venue, and also the first to be covered by a large television network. Yet, the occasion didn't change the traditional no-robe, no-socks attire. He was all business and had a personal vendetta to settle with the now not-so-confident-looking Mitch Blood Green.
Yo, Mike Tyson looks like the guy that be watching Gladiator bro every Wednesday and Tuesday, bro. He looks like the guy that watches the Gladiator for fun, like, and every time he watches it, he's more excited for it. Bro has that mentality, bro. I swear to God.
So much a factor in the last fight that we showed you here on HBO that he didn't double up. He just was a little bit lazy, especially in the later rounds. So we'll see what he does about that against Mitch Green.
It is so tiring, though. So tiring that the mental stress that these guys be having, bro, for so long, and then they be going at it again and again and again and again, and they have to be in that zone so that they can perform well. Unless you're like Prince Nassim, or you're just going out there and having fun and dancing around and just mocking people and just weaving, dodging, and just stinging everybody like a bee. That's something else. But like being somebody like Mike Tyson and some of these UFC guys that are ruthless, John Jones, and the list goes on. It is so mentally tiring, bro. Kudos.
Everyone has a plan until they get their mouthguard punched out of the ring in the first round. While Green had all the physical advantages, Tyson's supreme boxing skills and speed negated the gap in size and weight, backing up Green from the opening bell, slipping and countering, forcing the
look at that left hand taking the guard down. My God, the IQ.
That is an awesome shot.
Tyson punched out Green's mouthguard again in the third, whereafter he started mocking his opponent for having a wide gulping mouth, stalking him across the ring, landing fierce single power punches.
Another big left hook. Hey, Tyson, good uppercut. He has to take a standing bench.
Oh, the body shot.
Well, he's smiling. Tyson is smiling because Green has those fast hands.
The fight became so routine by the closing stages, the crowd...
Green got fast hands, right, for real, though.
Tyson himself appeared to have his mind elsewhere as he bizarrely kissed his trainer, Kevin Rooney, while he was trying to deliver him intricate strategies and details regarding the fight.
Kevin Rooney is in there and just jabbering away 100 miles a minute. Mike Tyson leaned over and just kissed him.
Tyson closed the show, trying to score the knockout, but Green's disinclination to engage allowed him to grab and clinch his way to safety, resulting in him losing 9.
Look at Green, look at Mitch's face, bro. That guy was killed in the ring, bro. That guy was executed.
Win this fight so easy because of his style. He's a game tough opponent, and he took some fairly decent shots. But as you know, I won comfortably, and I didn't try for the knockout.
True.
There's a great deal of discipline in there, not knocking him out.
Tyson claimed he carried Green the 10-round distance on purpose to punish him for as long as possible, and whether it was true or not, Green's personal pride was hurt, and he was willing to do whatever it took to restore a sliver of respect.
To be honest with you, bro, look at his face all broken, bro. To be honest,
after the Tyson loss and returned to the street to earn us.
To be honest with you, bro, Green or whatever his name is, bro, he got punished. He was getting hit so hard and he was staying tall. But look at his face, bro. He was Mike done rearrange his face, or Mike done rearrange his face. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Green retired from boxing after the Tyson loss and returned to the street selling drugs. He always planned to one day get Tyson back and return to the street to earn a living from selling drugs. He always planned to one day get Tyson back in the ring, but as his years of inactivity ensued, Tyson progressed to one of the most dominant heavyweight champions of all time, undefeated and undisputed. The days of fighting lingering contenders such as Mitch Green were over.
Bro, after one loss, then got back to the streets. Bro, you got money. You could have got more money. Wow.
The street. In the early hours of August 23, 1988, Mitch Green got wind that Tyson was shopping at a local clothing store close by to where he ran things on the street. Tyson had traveled a fair distance to pick up a luxury leather jacket handmade by one of his friends over at Dapper Dan's. As Tyson was chilling in the store with his entourage, Mitch Green burst through the door on his own, high on angel dust, demanding Tyson either give him a rematch or empty his pockets right there on the spot. Tyson, of course, no stranger to altercations on the street, dragged Mitch Green outside and pummeled him to the ground multiple times. Spectators said that the fight was short, violent, and very one-sided. In fact, it was no longer than 15 to 20 seconds, but that's more than long enough for the heavyweight champion to inflict severe damage.
Damn.
There is no footage of the fight, regardless of the clickbait you see on YouTube. but there were many accounts of what happened that all aligned. All except Green's account, where he claimed Tyson sucker punched him and ran.
Who threw the first punch here?
He did. He sucker punched me. Because he's with his friends, you know, and when he hit me, like I said, I couldn't get a chance to get to him like I was because everybody was like pulling me, you know, holding me, like so he could get away from me. So he could
Look at him wearing the sunglasses.
He ran from me.
Green was certain the Tyson scuffle, which became mainstream news around the world, would add enough public intrigue to get his rival back in the ring. But Mitch had already burnt his bridges among the promoters in the sport, with his violent threats to Don King in the past already shadow banning him from ever earning any serious money in the ring again. After Green's failed attempts to get the rematch with Tyson, he filed a civil lawsuit for $20 million due to the injuries he suffered during their fight. The former gang leader came away with one small W to coincide with a long list of L's, winning the case and being awarded $45,000, close to what his purse was during their professional fight in 1986.
Yeah, I remember seeing Mitch Green's eye after that. It was like, he broke his socket. The eye socket, yeah. He broke his eye socket, yeah. You gotta hit really hard to do something like that.
Green returned to the ring 7 years later, but at that point he was a shell of his former self.
No, that's it.
Journeyman with losing records.
He wasted his career, bro. If you lost once, if you lost twice, once to a world champion, another to a future world champion, bro. That's it, bro. You're doing good. You could have been just like got a lot of bans just for doing it, and then retired, and then you left it, and it's all good. But he's done.
For good in 2005. As of 2022, Green is still a large-as-life character, but now employs his energy into his love of Christianity. He still has a gripe with Tyson, but I think it's fair to say the two have now moved on, and whenever the topic is brought up today, they both make light of their infamous 30-year feud.
That didn't work. The boys get deaf. You had to street fight, the boys get deaf.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't y'all have a street fight, Mitch?
For the ring, for the street. Thinking the man would do something about it, he wouldn't do nothing. Oh, man, he freaked me out.
Did you know that actually Tyson and Sal are good friends and he comes to the show? He knew, look, Tyson. You see that? You don't know what you do.
That's cool though. Hey, bro. Hope to see y'all in the next video.